the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, and it ends on 10th December. That falls on Human Rights Day, highlighting the violence against women, which is the most pervasive breach of human rights worldwide. The campaign, it was launched by the activities at the inaugural Women's Global Leadership Institute in 1991 and has since mobilized individuals and organizations, including the United Nations and partners worldwide, to advocate for the prevention and eliminations of violence against women and girls. And in support of the civil society initiative under the leadership of the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres, the United Nations Secretary General Unite by 2030 to End Violence Against Women initiatives calls for global action to increase awareness, galvanize advocacy efforts, and share knowledge and innovations to end violence against women and girls once and for all. And it was launched in 2008. Unite is a multi-year advocacy effort which aimed at preventing and eliminating violence against women and girls around the world. Unite calls on governments, developments, civil societies, women's rights organizations, young people, young minds, the private and the government sector, the media, and the entire system to collaborate in addressing violence against women and the girls. And the United Nations has supported the campaign through the Unite to End Violence Against Women initiative since 2008, using the color orange as a symbol of a future free from violence. Each year, the campaign focuses on a specific theme, and this year's theme for the 16 Days of Activism 2025, which we are launching today, is Unite to End Digital Violence Against all women and girls.
Violence against women is not only a violation of human rights, but also a deep wound in the soul of a society. It happens in home, workplaces, in public spaces, and increasingly these days online. For many women, the fear of violence shapes their daily choices, from where they work, to how they dress, to what they say. This reality should disturb us because every woman deserves to live with dignity, freedom, and respect. Today we remember the countless women who have suffered in silence, those who are survivors, and those who tragically lost their lives. We honor their courage and we acknowledge that breaking the silence is the first step towards changes. This year, as we enter 2025, let us look at the world with renewed determinations. Laws have improved, awareness has grown, and many communities are standing up, but the work is far from over. Statistics continue to show that 1 in 3 women worldwide experiences physical or sexual violence in her lifetime. Behind every number is a mother, a sister, a daughter, a friend, someone with a dream, hope, and a right to safety. Ending violence against women is not the responsibilities of women alone. It is everyone's responsibilities: men, women, youth, institutions, governments, and communities. We must all together bring a change to these harmful attitudes, challenge discriminations, and create awareness to understand that strength lies in respect, not dominations. Let us pledge today to create safe home, safe workplace, and a safe public space. Let us encourage survivors to speak up, and let us build a system that listens to them, protect them, and also support them. When a survivor gathers the courage to speak, the least we can do is believe her and stand beside her. Education has a powerful role. Awareness camping, counseling, community dialogues, and school programs can reshape the mindset of generations. Empowerment has an even stronger role when women are educated, economically independent, and confident. They have the strength to walk away from abuses and build a life of dignity. On this International Day, I urge every one of us present here today to take action in our own capacity. Report violence when you see it. Support a survivor. Speak against harmful behaviors. Teach respect. Promote equality. Small actions, when multiplied across a community, become powerful movement.
I hope this poster will reach every corner of Dimapur and will be blessed for every of our Naga community, as well as will be safe for our sister, brother, and may this poster reach every corner of the Dimapur, and so that our children, our daughter, our family will be safe. Thank you.
आप लोगों को याद होगा कि 2012 दिसंबर में there was a terrible gang rape in Delhi. आप लोगों को याद है ऐसा कुछ हुआ था दिल्ली में? Come on, I'm used to be a responsive audience. So there was a lot of learning as a society we did from that, right? It was not just about getting angry and punishing some men who did get the punishment. It was about what did we learn as a society और हमने क्या बदला, अपनी सोच में क्या बदला, अपने अंदर क्या बदला. At that time, the government had set up what is called the Justice Verma Committee. Why am I pointing your attention to this? We have spoken about violence against women since morning. There was a sentence that the Deputy Commissioner said to us. He spoke about inequality. ये violence कहाँ से आता है? Violence is almost always inflicted by the powerful on a person or a creature, including animals, or someone who has less power than the person inflicting the violence. So the root of violence is not that there is a man with a bad temper, there is a husband who gets angry. That is what you see. वो दिखता है, वो उसका end result होता है. The root lies in, I'm not going to be reading these things out because that would make it terribly long. This is the root cause of violence, inequality and discrimination. हमको जड़ से क्या निकालना है अपने बीच में से, समाज में से? इनइक्वालिटी और डिस्क्रिमिनेशन. वो निकलेगा तो वायलेंस अपने आप कम होता जाएगा. तो जो फोकस है वो दोनों तरफ साइमल्टेनियसली रहना पड़ेगा इन ऑल प्रोग्राम्स, पॉलिसीज, इनिशिएटिव्स, एक्शंस दैट वी अंडरटेक. After the 2012 Nirbhaya gang rape, the law was changed. There were many amendments made to the law. Today I'm only going to talk to you, and I'm only referring here in this slide to those aspects of the law where you can already see the beginning of tracing digital gender-based violence. The law talked about sexual harassment. The law talked about voyeurism, trafficking, and stalking. All these have a digital component. ये इंटरनेट पे भी हो सकता है. Physical presence इसमें से किसी भी की ज़रूरत नहीं है. This crime can be perpetrated both on the internet as well as in person. And we see the early beginnings of recognition of this in the 2013 amendment that were brought about after this. What do we have today? Now, at one level, we are all, as a society, we have gained so much from the advancement of science and technology. We all have mobile phones, we are connected to people far away, we can on the internet know what is happening on any part of the planet, and therefore our access to information, our access to new discoveries, to new ideas, to what is happening in any other country or what is happening in Delhi. As a lawyer, I can tell you, yesterday, I was able to attend, I had a matter in the Uttarakhand High Court also. Now I was in Kohima yesterday. I joined online and I attended a matter in Uttarakhand High Court. This is what technology and use of technology by courts in particular has today enabled. आप कहीं पर भी हैं, पर आप कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं, आप अपना काम कर सकते हैं, आप सुन सकते हैं, समझ सकते हैं. ये आविष्कार जो साइंस का है, विज्ञान का है, ये बहुत बड़ी बात है. But if we don't change as a society, then everything has a double edge. और वही टेक्नोलॉजी वायलेंस का भी एक जरिया बन जाता है. Growing up in Delhi, I know it's always been a thing that don't go out at night. I have a young daughter, so one is always concerned, are you stepping out late, etc., etc. How has that violence, as was said by the chairperson, how has that violence now migrated to the cyberspace? And the cyberspace, instead of being a place which we value as something that through technology and science we now are able to access, the same inequality and violence, and in fact greater, because technology is different. Technology enables speed, it enables amplification, and आप कहीं पर भी बैठ के किसी को परेशान कर सकते हैं. I can be sitting in a remote village. If I have good internet, I can actually cyberbully, harass somebody sitting anywhere else. In fact, when you are walking on the street or you are in a public transport or in a workplace, there has to be a physical proximity to be able to harass somebody, to be able to harass a woman. But internet enables you to do that from anywhere. So it comes with its set of dangers and concerns. And that is what is called technology facilitated violence against women and girls. This is the definition that the United Nations has given. And it says, technology can aggravate, वो उसको बढ़ा सकता है, भेज सकता है, digital tools से और उससे. When we talk about violence against women, sexual violence against women, even sexual harassment or any other form, we must remember something that was again said by the earlier dignitaries. One, it is not only that woman who is going to suffer, it's a public health issue. And we as a society are losing out. And that is how the Deputy Chairperson concluded his remarks. As a society, we will be less productive. As a society, we will be less homogeneous, less united, and less positive and future-looking if women are going to be trapped in this form of violence. Globally, the prevalence of violence and information and communication technology ranges from 16 to 58%. 73% of women journalists experience online violence in the course of work. Most girls report that their first experience of social media harassment happens as young as 14 to 16 years of age. They are minors when this kind of online harassment begins. Misinformation and defamation are the most prevalent. सबसे ज़्यादा क्या है? आप लिख दीजिए किसी young अपने आपके साथ पढ़ रही student, आपकी कॉलेज में पढ़ रही या आपकी कॉलीग या कोई young woman who's stepping into the political field. I believe now there are many women in the Nagaland district bodies who have contested and won elections. These are women coming into the public sphere, into the political sphere. उनके बारे में, उनकी पर्सनल लाइफ के बारे में कुछ लिख देना, उनको बदनाम करना, डिफेम करना. Those are all tools that internet and digital tools can. You will not only hear it in the gossip circle in Dimapur, I will be able to read it sitting in Delhi. That is the danger of this kind of digital violence. Globally, 300 million children are affected by sexual exploitation and abuse. This is the National Crime Record Bureau's graph. You can see how cyberstalking, bullying, cyber blackmail, pornography. Look at that green bar and see how it is shooting up. And that is why this particular theme becomes so important for us to focus on. Similarly, the NCRB data, unfortunately, the graph continues to rise. Some of this was mentioned by the chairperson when she spoke. These are all the main forms of technology-facilitated gender-based violence. I will speak about some of them because I think NCII, the non-consensual image, intimate image transmission, ये बहुत भयंकर problem बन चुका है. At least I have had to deal with many such cases, and I'm sure the young people here know what I'm talking about. Deepfake. Technology, we cannot keep pace with what technology. Technology will outpace law any day. आज AI, आप मेरी शक्ल यहाँ पर जो मैं बोल रही हूँ, they can actually reproduce me and put anything else in my voice, saying all manner of completely horrible things. And that can go on the internet, and I can't do very much about that, is what I will think, but we can, and the law is there, and that's what I'm going to tell you about. So we do have today technology which can, in the wrong hands, do certain things. And this is what mocked photos, cyber harassment, online grooming. Minor children, not just girls, minor children are particularly at risk, and therefore in those spaces it becomes even more important. Now, this is a new report that has come out in collaboration with a London-based NGO and an India-based NGO. And it says in 2015 or earlier years, we were seeing a lot more harassing phone calls and SMS and WhatsApp. WhatsApp messages and things like that. I think it has evolved now. One of the most common violations people call about is impersonation combined with morphing of images and intimate image sharing. It's not even about their own image anymore. It's about morphed images. So this is the growing danger that we are dealing with in our country. There was a judgment of the Supreme Court earlier this year. One old man, on his computer, they found a porn clip, child pornography clip. That old man was in his 70s. He said, मैंने तो ये खोला भी नहीं है, and digitally you can make out, has somebody pressed the link, क्या उसने देखा है? नहीं, उसने नहीं देखा था. पर कोर्ट ने कहा, अगर आपके डिवाइस के ऊपर चाइल्ड पोर्नोग्राफी का मटीरियल भी होगा, तो अंडर पॉक्सो, द प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ चिल्ड्रन फ्रॉम सेक्सुअल ऑफेंसेस एक्ट, दैट इज एन ऑफेंस. किसी के भी पास चाइल्ड पोर्नोग्राफी मिलना, एंड इट्स नॉट जस्ट मेन, पॉक्सो इज अ जेंडर न्यूट्रल लॉ, सो बोथ मेन एंड वुमेन, किसी के भी पास चाइल्ड पोर्नोग्राफी का मटीरियल मिलना is a crime in India. Pornography is, as an industry, is a multi-billion-dollar industry and something that we have to be extremely concerned about, and its links are increasingly being made with violence both against children as well as sexual violence against women. What are the main mapping of laws that we have in India? We have for children, the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act. We have the Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace, Prevention, Prohibition and Redressal 2013. We have the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, which, as I said, from sexual harassment to gang rape, the entire spectrum of sexual offences is there. And you have the Information Technology Act. The Information Technology Act today works in conjunction. ये जो laws है, ये offense बनाते हैं, और Information Technology Act उसको digital space में regulate कैसे करना है, उसको पूरा detail करता है. Another case I want to refer to is what happened in Delhi, जो काफी elite public schools थे. इस case का नाम Boys Locker Room पड़ गया था. उनके बीच में the boys. Now this is the other thing that we need to work, and we need to work as mothers, sisters, aunts, teachers. What we see as the way boys grew up and the way girls grew up in our society, उसको बदलना होगा. As I said, being attracted at a young age to another person, wanting to explore sexuality, there is no harm, provided it is not done before 18, and secondly not done without consent. Amongst boys, as we all do know, the conversation at a young age is about sex, but unfortunately it is about व्यूइंग अपने आपके साथ पढ़ रही क्लासमेट, आपके साथ काम कर रही या की बॉडी के बारे में हम अजीब तरीके से बात करते हैं. ये बॉयज़ लॉकर रूम, which was a group of boys studying in some of the best public schools in Delhi, there was a conversation happening about girls. Girls they knew, girls जो उनकी friends हैं, और इस private conversation में one of them shared nude images of his girlfriend with all the other people on that group, and it got leaked out, and then the police got involved, and it led to a police action, then the parents got involved, etc., etc. At the heart of it is the need कि स्कूल में, कॉलेज में, घर में इन चीज़ों के बारे में बात करके सही और गलत, क्या क्राइम है क्या नहीं है, बिकॉज यू डोंट, इट्स नॉट प्रोडक्टिव फॉर अ सोसाइटी टू कैच 17 and 16-year-old boys and say put them away. That's not the point. That's not how violence against women will end. The third thing I want to refer to very quickly is we deal with domestic violence cases. We say, okay, go to the Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act, एक protection officer है, वो complaint लेगा, magistrate पे जाओ, police पे जाओ. Recently in a case, what did we see? There was a dispute between the husband and wife. It led to some physical violence, lot of mental violence. उन दोनों के बीच में वो अलग अलग हो गए. Husband ने wife को online डिजिटल स्पेस में हरास करना, उसके वीडियोस पॉर्न साइट्स पे पोस्ट करना, इस तरह से उसने करना शुरू कर दिया। तो जो डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस का हमारा अंडरस्टैंडिंग था कि लॉज को कैसे डील करेगा, the husband decided he is now going to punish his wife by creating deep fake porn videos about her, and उससे ऑब्वियसली वो परेशान थी, घबरा जाएगी, मेंटेनेंस नहीं मांगेगी, डिवोर्स नहीं मांगेगी, एलिमनी नहीं मांगेगी. So we are today seeing that digital violence can have ramifications in all aspects of violence against women. Again, this is a case which you may have read about. She is my client. She is a journalist. She writes articles which may or may not, the powers that be may or may not like. But a journalist has to do their job. Sometimes journalists will write things that we don't like. Sometimes journalists like things that people like. What is to be done about that? So here she has, her face has been morphed and put on various porn sites. Her phone number was leaked, and in the middle of the night she was receiving, on one night she received over 200 phone calls and messages because somebody put up her number and said her services are available, call her at night. अब सब जानते हैं कि उसका मीनिंग क्या है, उससे ज़्यादा बोलने की ज़रूरत ही नहीं है. और उसके बाद, and this is doxing, when you put out personal information about a person, that is doxing. That you put out somebody's email ID, you put out somebody's phone number, somebody as in women's. Men का डालने से it doesn't create the same implications, it doesn't have the same consequences. और उसके साथ लिख दो services available, and your life can turn into hell overnight. These were deep fakes put on porn sites. We will have disagreement in our society. We may not agree with what she writes. What is the form of disagreement with a journalist? That's our society, which can have different views. What will be allowed as acceptable? कि हमको लगता है जो हमको नहीं पसंद, उसके साथ आप कुछ भी कर सकते हैं, हम लोग बुरा नहीं मानेंगे. I don't know if some of you have heard of this case. This was one of the first cases that came to light. Rana Ayub's was the first, because I remember I went with her to the police station, and at that time the police also didn't know about cyber law, because the person in the cyber cell, that time we didn't have, now we have separate cyber police stations everywhere in the country. उस समय सिर्फ एक साइबर सेल होता था रेगुलर पुलिस स्टेशन में. मुझे आज भी याद है जब मैं पहली बार राना के साथ पुलिस स्टेशन गई, तो मुझे बार बार पुलिसमैन ने एक क्वेश्चन पूछा, विच टुडे व्हेन वी थिंक बैक इट साउंड सो सिली. ही सेड, हाउ विल वी डिसाइड द jurisdiction? She is a resident of Bombay. She has come to Delhi. She has opened her phone and seen these deep fake videos all over Facebook. That time there was no Twitter. How will we decide the jurisdiction? Because jurisdiction traditionally criminal law में हर थाना एक area से connected होता है. Cyber का क्या area है? So he said, मैं क्यों यहाँ पर लूँ आपका complaint? ये बॉम्बे में रहती है. मैंने कहा मगर हमने तो देखा यहाँ पे. He said, अब हम क्या कर सकते हैं? So everybody was very puzzled. But now we have moved a long way from there, and we also know that law allows for sexual offences a zero FIR, and then वो पुलिस का responsibility है to transfer it to the concerned police station. Just before Eid in 2020, all over Twitter, that morning it was put up, Sulli deal, there is a platform for apps called GitHub. उसके ऊपर बहुत सारे मुस्लिम वुमेन, उनका ट्विटर हैंडल उनका ट्विटर हैंडल का नेम एंड फोटोग्राफ डालकर लगाया हुआ था कि दिस इज सुल्ली डील, यू कैन पुट योर ऑक्शन फॉर देम एंड यू विल गेट दिस वुमन. ऑल ऑफ देम वर मुस्लिम वुमेन. बहुत ज्यादा उनमें से यंग वुमेन थी और वो ट्विटर पर अपनी बात रखती थी. जब वुमेन समाज में अपनी बात रखेंगी, जो उनका ट्रेडिशनल रोल है उसकी बाउंड्री को क्रॉस करके कुछ बोलेंगी, कुछ करेंगी, तो एक बैकलैश आता है, हमारे ही बीच में से आता है. और आज वो साइबर स्पेस में आता है, वो डिजिटल फॉर्म ले चुका है. As I said, we live in a democracy. We may disagree with each other's political views. I may vote for one party, you may vote for another party. That is the whole point of voting. Otherwise, why bother? But that does not mean that you can sexually and socially target women. What was the point of doing this Sulli deal? Because I dealt with many of the young women, and in fact this case went right up to the United Nations. The Special Rapporteur on Violence Against Women brought this case up in her report. Many of those young women were actually on Twitter. They were all adults. पर उनके पेरेंट्स को नहीं मालूम था कि वो यूनिवर्सिटी पॉलिटिक्स में है, वो अपनी बात रख रही हैं, वो डिसएग्री कर रही हैं, वो डिबेट कर रही हैं, वो आर्ग्यू कर रही हैं ऑन ट्विटर. And when this incident happened, some of those young women, who I think are very bright, they said to me, "Ma'am, if my father gets to know, he'll be very worried, and I may have to leave Twitter forever." And it did happen with some of them. So इसके पीछे जो purpose होता है वो to silence women. The same thing used to be done and is still being done by sending threats to women. वही काम आज डिजिटल में है. उसी की तरह in 2022, these were two things that targeted particularly Muslim women, and these are all cases I've done with, so I'm bringing them before you. 1st January 2022, New Year's. Imagine waking up. Okay, how many of you are on Twitter? Put up your hand. It's all right to be on Twitter. It's not a crime. I'm on Twitter. We don't have to be scared of being on Twitter. It's a source of information. Most of the government functionaries are on Twitter. Imagine you wake up on New Year's morning, 1st January 2022. And what is Twitter full of? Your Twitter handle, your photograph has been put on a platform and said, you can buy her as a bully buy. Bully buy means it's a pejorative term. It's like an abuse. Ki somebody can be bought off as a maid. Again, 100 Muslim women, most of whom were journalists, were targeted. So this is what we are seeing happening. Is tarah ka ek intimidation. These are just examples. It can happen with other women also. I'm only taking this as an example. In both the cases, we filed police complaints. In the bully buy deal, they caught these people. Just look at the names and the ages of these boys and men. Vishal Kumar Jha, 21 years, doing engineering. Shweta Singh, woman, 18 years. Neeraj Bishnoi, 20 years. Mayank Rawat, 20 years. And the oldest is this Mr. Thakur from Madhya Pradesh, 26 years. वो उनमें से किसी भी Muslim woman journalist, social commentator, one of them actually is a very famous writer. She left Twitter after that. She's a friend of mine. She has written about 15 books. She's a regular author. These people don't know those women. But the digital space allows this kind of hate crime to take place. And you target women knowing कि women के साथ social, sexual, defamation के consequences अलग होते हैं. हमारे समाज में जब एक औरत के साथ ऐसा होता है, उसको वहाँ से छिप के भागना पड़ता है. अगर आप बोलोगे किसी आदमी के बारे में, तो he will not run away. He'll say, ah, see, I'm such a macho man. I'm so good. None of them knew those women. This is how hate and violence is now spreading in our society. So this is what I was just referring to. Now coming to something that was referred again by the chairperson. What is non-consensual intimate imagery? Any image which has full or partial nudity, sexual act, conduct taken without your consent and disseminated, published or shared over internet is an offense. ये एक crime है. अगर आपके साथ होता है तो आप इसको रिपोर्ट कीजिए. घर में बैठ के रोना नहीं है अकेले में कि मम्मी भी डांटेंगी, पापा भी डांटेंगे, टीचर भी डांटेगी. वो तो डांटेंगे, कोई बात नहीं, वो तो बहुत बातों पे डांटेंगे. टेस्ट में अच्छा नहीं करोगे तो भी डांटेंगे, कोई बात नहीं. दिस इज अ क्राइम. You have to report it, and there are multiple ways. I think today you've also been told of a helpline number that has just been published here. Non-consensual intimate image today in India is amongst the highest cyber crime the police is running into. And therefore, there are multiple pathways to the law and to reporting. It's not one. Please see the 4 options I have given you. You don't have to go to the police station. मुझे समझ में आता है कि थाने में जाने से सब घबराते हैं, औरतें खासकर घबराती हैं और डरती हैं, वो ठीक है, समझ में आता है. But you have a one-stop center. You have an intermediary you can complain to. Intermediaries are Google, Twitter, all of them. You can do online reporting. You don't have to go anywhere. Online reporting is today a legal, valid way of reporting a sexual offense in India. You can go to the National Crime Reporting Portal, or you can go to the police. You have all these options available. The law today says, अभी मद्रास हाई कोर्ट ने एक जजमेंट पास किया जहां उन्होंने कहा 48 hours के अंदर all the NCII pertaining to a particular woman, she went first to the police station. The police said, we don't know what to do, go away. Unfortunately, that is the experience of women with the police. She went to the High Court. High Court passed an order saying within 48 hours, all NCII, non-consensual intimate images, to be removed. And this applies to everybody, Facebook or Meta, which owns Instagram and Facebook, because most young people are now on Instagram. I'm told by my daughter, aunties like me are on Facebook, young people are on Instagram. All right, I'm on both. So, all the intermediaries have to comply with these orders, whether it is Google, whether it is Twitter, whether it is Facebook, whether it is Instagram. So use the law. Don't be afraid about these things. And if the law people who are in charge are not cooperating or listening to you, go to the Nagaland State Women's Commission. They are a dynamic team. They know how to get work done. Here, within 24 hours, if that content is flagged, it has to be removed. That's the law of this country. Now, this is just information which I'm sure you have, but because I was going to make the presentation here, I thought I'll just put down, if some of it is inaccurate, please correct it. This was made by us in Delhi from what was available on the internet. These are all your one-stop centers. I did see the one-stop center in Kohima because I walked past it and I took a picture. So we have to make these work. These are in every district of Nagaland. How do you file a complaint? As I said, आपको थाने जाने का ज़रूरत नहीं है. You don't have to go to the police station. You can file a complaint online with the National Cybercrime Reporting Portal. I will just show you a few slides that it is not that difficult. You have a National Cybercrime Reporting Portal. In there you will see women, children related crime and other cyber crime. There's also all that financial fraud, digital arrest, but we are not doing that today. Then you go to, filing a complaint on National Cybercrime Reporting Portal. It says here, there is a log button here which says file a complaint. You go next, you put your complaint in, and then you say, I accept. Just like you will make a booking for a movie, a travel booking. It's been simplified and enabled so that sitting in a safe space of your home, you can file these complaints. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to worry, how will I file this? A checklist is given. What information you must put in your complaint so that the different agencies can act on it. And here you have to do a login. This again is your National Cybercrime Reporting Portal where you put your information. And this is the category of complaint, etc. Is there all the questions are asked. It makes it very easy for a user so that you don't have to think, I don't know how to write a complaint, I've never written a complaint, I've not studied law. You don't have to worry about all that. Now this is what I was referring to. Very often I get young women and other women and mothers and fathers who come to me with cyber crimes. And they all say, we have no evidence. They start the story from that. It's like when POSH came, sexual harassment law came, women would always come and say, ma'am, I have no evidence. क्या होता है evidence ऐसे crime का? आप उसका evidence हो. Your statement is the evidence. So you need to show as evidence your digital device. Do not delete that information. Don't throw away your phone, please. That phone is a landmine of information. डर के मारे किसको मैं फेंक दूंगी तो ये प्रॉब्लम चली जाएगी. ऐसा नहीं होता है. आप वो फोन फेंक दोगे फिर भी कोई आपके पीछे तंग करने के लिए पड़ सकता है. Don't transfer the evidence to another device. Electronic evidence is very sensitive. It has to be retained in that device. The police or any investigating agency will need आपका phone, आपका computer, उसमें से ही निकलेगा material. When we talk on the phone, at least for 48 hours, there's a call log that remains, right? जिसमें आता है आपने किससे आज बात की. उसका स्क्रीनशॉट लेके रखिए because call log permanent नहीं होता है. Every 24 hours, depending on how many people you're talking to, the call log disappears. Take a screenshot of it. Videos, photographs exchanged, keep them. Voice notes, keep them. Do not delete. All this is evidence. This is the gamut of evidence on the basis of which the police or any other cyber authority can trace who is behind this. You need not know that person's name. As I showed you earlier, वो सुल्ली बुल्ली में किसी को नहीं पता था कौन है, और ये 5 लोग इंडिया के अलग अलग स्टेट्स में बैठे हुए हैं. कोई इनको जानता नहीं है, पर पुलिस ने उनको ढूंढा और वो मिल गए. This, I'm sorry to have to refer to this. All of you know Professor Rosemary. She's a friend of mine, I've known her forever. Recently, I learned that she was given a death threat. Why? Because Professor Rosemary speaks out on issues of gender discrimination, things that she thinks will improve Naga society. You may agree or disagree with her, I don't know. I'm not from here. Although I do agree that women should get representation in district bodies, and so does the Supreme Court, and that has now become the law. So when women will speak out on issues, this is how a death threat was issued to her. She didn't know who had done it. Because there is no name, when it comes over the internet, you can have a fake identity. पर क्योंकि उन्होंने बहुत उसको परस्यू किया, वो केस का बहुत सब जगह, मुझे भी दिल्ली में बैठे बैठे पता चल गया कि ऐसा इंसिडेंट हुआ है. So you can also use social media to your advantage. You can also say कि ये हो रहा है. I think there was an intervention also by the commission, the Nagaland State Women's Commission, that such people who are offenders of this kind should be arrested and brought to law. And they were. So we have today a situation where women are not going to play the traditional role. अगर किसी को अभी भी लग रहा है कि हाँ कि जो औरतें हैं वो लड़कियां हैं वो घर में बैठेंगी, मुंह बंद रखेंगी, अपना दिमाग नहीं इस्तेमाल करेंगी, तो वो ऐसा नहीं होगा अब इस देश में. हम सबके पास दिमाग है, अच्छा दिमाग है, हम भी उसका इस्तेमाल करेंगे. हमको पूरा पता है कि हम इस देश के इक्वल सिटीजन्स हैं, और हम इस देश में जब काम करते हैं तो हम कंट्रीब्यूट करते हैं देश को आगे बढ़ाने में. Women will speak. I say many things that people don't like. They write nasty things about me on Twitter. It's all right. You disagree with me, you can say things. You don't have to abuse me. But using a societal sexual aspect to frighten and intimidate women from participation in public life is not a crime against that individual young woman, girl, older woman. It is a crime against our country, because you are stopping somebody from contributing to the country and to our society. So I don't see these as individual crimes at all. And the person who's doing it is actually harming all women and all society. Today we have a gamut of laws. जो मैंने आपको दिखाया, उसमें I can leave an entire list with the commission because it's a very long list. I only want to mention the laws, and I'm going to finish in 2 minutes, of the IT Act, because usually भारतीय न्याय संहिता के laws, which was earlier IPC, sexual harassment laws, इसकी बहुत बातचीत होती है, लोगों को पता है. Information Technology Act is critical for cybercrime. Section 66, capital E of the Information Technology Act, punishment for violation of privacy. Intentionally or knowingly capture, publish or transmit the image of the private area of any person without his or her consent. Imprisonment up to 3 years, fine up to 2 lakhs. These are serious crimes. Punishment for publishing or transmitting obscene material in electronic form. Section 67, IT Act. Again, first conviction 3 years, second conviction up to 5 years. Section 67A IT Act. Publish or transmit material containing sexually explicit act in any electronic form. Section 67B. Punishment for publishing or transmitting of materials depicting children in sexually explicit form. Very often nowadays, young people, because we are in the age of technology, exchange when they are in a relationship. जब आपका बॉयफ्रेंड गर्लफ्रेंड रिलेशनशिप चल रहा होता है तो इंटीमेट इमेज दे दो, फोटो दे दो, आपको भी लगता है भाई वो तो मेरा बॉयफ्रेंड है, उसको दे देते हैं. बहुत कॉमन है. इट्स सो कॉमन इन दिस जनरेशन. आपने दे दिया. वो बॉयफ्रेंड हमेशा के लिए, लाइफ के लिए तो बॉयफ्रेंड बना नहीं है. एक दिन वो रिलेशनशिप खत्म हो जाता है, मगर वो फोटोज उसके पास रह जाती हैं. He may or may not misuse those photos. Now you are thinking, but I gave it voluntarily. He asked for it and I gave it. So he didn't get it without my consent. What is the law? The law says, even if I give to my boyfriend when I'm in a relationship, a video, a photo, anything with my consent, it cannot be disseminated against my consent. He cannot share it with his boys, his classmates, other boys, other men to show, see, my girlfriend is giving me this. ये सब हो रहा है, I know. I'm a lawyer. All this comes to my table every day. He cannot share your photographs, your videos, any image without your consent. You have a right to take them back and get it deleted. So please don't live under this that now that I have given it, I am doomed forever and he will exploit me, he will blackmail me. The amount of cyber blackmail that is happening over images in this country is very frightening. My advice, of course, to young people, but when have young people ever taken advice from older people? No generation does, so why will you? Please do not give images, nude images. Please do not give intimate images. अगर वो आपका बॉयफ्रेंड बिना आपकी न्यूड इमेज के नहीं बनना चाहता, उस बॉयफ्रेंड को उसी वक्त छोड़ दीजिए. He is not worth being your boyfriend. So these are some things, as you use technology, you have to be smart about them. There's no running away from that. We will have to learn to be smart and we will have to learn to protect ourselves. And secondly, and this is the long-term change that I hope by the time you grow up and become my age, we are not having to mark this week, these 16 days and this day. If somebody has disseminated intimate images, nude photographs, deepfake porn videos, and AI is galloping ahead, हम उसको नहीं रोक सकते. The shame is not on that woman. The shame is not on that girl. Unless as a society we shift the shame. The shame is on that boy, the shame is on that man. This is a consensus we have to take. Law will support us. Law will walk with us. Law will punish. But law does not change society. We change society. And we as a society have to think, what has she done wrong? Why am I thinking that that she is a bad person? Let us change that conversation. And AI is going to create far more menace. We will take the good, but there will be a menace. And to counter that menace, we will change the conversation in our midst, starting from our home, our brothers, our fathers, our uncles, to the workplace, and stand in solidarity, men and women. This was said by both the dignitaries. This is not a women's problem, it's a social problem. Men and women have to partner each other. Only then this will change. And once again, thank you so much for this opportunity.